the Honourable Member for Fort McMurray.
Madam Speaker, it is truly an honour to rise today following a long-standing tradition of this Assembly to give my maiden speech. I would first and foremost like to thank my family, friends, and boyfriend. Your support, encouragement, and unconditional love has played such a key role in getting me here today. Fort McMurray-Conklin is a stunningly beautiful place, containing many crystal-clear rivers, peaceful boreal forests, and stunning northern lights. While Indigenous people have called our region home for thousands of years, the development of northeastern Alberta was originally due to the fur trade. Fort Chipewyan was founded in 1788, 230 years ago, as a trading post by Peter Pond for the Northwest Company. In 1790, Alexander Mackenzie traveled the region and was the first person to document the description of the oil sands. By 1870, Hudson's Bay Company established a post in Fort McMurray. While the Indigenous within the region were very familiar with the bitumen, often using it to waterproof and caulk their canoes, it wasn't until the turn of the last century that we saw any commercialization of the oil sands. It was in 1925 that Dr. Carl A. Clark developed the hot water separation model, a process that's been refined but is still in use today. In 1967, Great Canadian Oil Sands, which is now Suncor, opened their doors, proving that oil sands could be developed on a commercial scale. In 1978, Syncrude officially opened their doors, and many others have joined the scene in the years that have followed. As you can see, the region I am blessed to represent has a rich history that long predates that of this province. While I was writing my first formal speech for this legislature, I decided to read and consult the maiden speeches of the MLAs that have served before me. Not only did I learn some interesting facts about the riding, but also of the MLAs. For example, members who have served before me have been asking for an all-weather road to Fort Chipewyan since at least 1975, which was when Hansard was officially established in Alberta. Fun fact, there's still no all-weather access road to Fort Chipewyan. In my research, I found out that I am the 21st person to represent this riding, the 6th person to be elected in a by-election, the first person born in Fort McMurray to represent this riding, the youngest person, the first female, but I also have the distinct honor to be the last person to represent the riding of Fort McMurray-Conklin, as the boundaries will once again change come the next election to Fort McMurray-Lac La Biche. I am quite lucky to have had the privilege of being personally mentored by some of the MLAs that have previously served the riding, including Guy Boudelier, Don Scott, and Brian Jean. 15 years ago, I became involved in politics through volunteering on Brian Jean's first federal nomination. I've had the honor and pleasure of working alongside him on various campaigns and projects through this period of time. He has become a true friend and an outstanding mentor to me. I know for a fact that I would not be here today if not for his support. It will be tough to fill your shoes, Brian, but I promise to do my best to honor your outstanding legacy. Thank you for your service to Fort McMurray-Conklin, to Alberta, and to all of Canada. Since 1905, the area that is now within Fort McMurray-Conklin has gone through many changes, evolving from Athabasca to the current boundary of Fort McMurray-Conklin, and soon to be the new boundaries of Fort McMurray-Lac La Biche. I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of the notable and remarkable members that have previously served the area. Jean Côté, who went on to become a senator, Michael McCagno, who was the former Liberal leader, Brian Jean, former Wild Rose leader, Norm Weiss, the first, but luckily not last, Fort McMurrayite to serve our amazing region, Adam Germain, who currently serves as the Justice on the Court of the Queen's Bench, and Don Scott, who is the current Mayor of the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo. A sincere thank you to all of those who have served before me for help pave the road, literally and figuratively. Thank you for your foresight to pave Highway 881 and to twin most of 63. It sure makes the travel a lot easier and a lot safer. And to Léo Piquet, un fier franco-albertain qui a battu pour le droit de s'adresser à la législature albertaine en français. Je suis extrêmement fière d'être capable de vous adresser en français aujourd'hui. Je dois remercier mes parents qui ont pris la décision très sage de m'enregistrer dans le programme d'immersion à partir de la maternelle. J'ai pu compléter mon secondaire en immersion, ce qui m'a donné l'occasion de m'inscrire au campus francophone de l'Université d'Alberta. le campus Saint-Jean, ou la fac, comme c'est connu affectueusement. C'est ici où j'ai obtenu mon baccalauréat et arts en sciences politiques. And now for the rest of you in English. To Leo Paquette, a proud Franco-Albertan who fought for the right to address this assembly in French. I am extremely proud to be able to address you in French today. A big thanks goes to my parents for their decision to enroll me in French immersion from kindergarten to grade 12, graduating from Father McMurray High School with both an English and French diploma, giving me the opportunity to enroll in the University of Alberta's Francophone Campus Saint-Jean, or as it's affectionately known, the FAC, where I earned my Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. After completing my degree, I returned to Fort McMurray to be with my family. Fort McMurray is and always has been my home. In fact, my family has called Fort McMurray home for almost 50 years. My dad, Gord, has worked in the oil sands for over 40 years now, and I was proudly at his side 2 weeks ago to see him recognized for 4 decades of service to Syncrude. His strong work ethic and determination have been guiding principles in my life. My mom, Jan, owned and operated small businesses in town for almost 20 years before ending her career at Keano College. My mom was the quintessential definition of a social butterfly. She once told me that strangers were simply friends you hadn't met yet. For my mother, almost any outing took at least twice as long as it normally should have taken. She always stopped to talk to people she knew, and often even people she didn't know yet. In so many ways, it was my mom that allowed me to pursue my passion for politics, and perhaps she's the reason why I'm so good at door knocking now. Like me, my siblings Sarah, Scott, and Brent are all proud to call Fort McMurray their home. My sister and her husband Cameron have 2 beautiful children, Ezekiel and Astrid, and I fully admit I'm a very proud auntie. To my mother, words will never be able to express how much I miss you. But I am so grateful for the lessons you taught me, the unconditional love you showed me and everyone around you. I will always aim to make you proud. To my dad, you are my biggest cheerleader, my most trusted confidant, and my best volunteer. Thank you for always fighting for me, believing in me, pushing me ahead, and making me be my very best self. To my sister, brothers, brother-in-law, niece, and nephew, thank you for making sure that I was always fed and keeping me very grounded. To my boyfriend, Niall, thank you for being so understanding and supportive. To all my friends that have encouraged me and kept me positive, thank you for being so considerate and helpful. And to my campaign teams, yes, teams, 3 in the last 6 months, ever increasing in size, skill, and enthusiasm to see the NDP defeated in 2019 and restore the Alberta advantage. Thank you for your dedicated work and constant optimism. And to the people of Fort McMurray-Conklin, I am honored to represent you, and I sincerely thank you for trusting me with your vote. Fort McMurray is a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To many Canadians, Fort McMurray represented hope, opportunity, and a fresh start. To the world's leading oil producers, we're a tough competitor who refuses to lie down. For far too many elected officials across Canada, we're simply a cash cow. To the fringe eco-activists, we are the enemy. In fact, Sephora Berman, an NDP-appointed member of the Oil Sands Advisory Group, refers to my region as Mordor. But to me, Fort McMurray has and always will be home. I was born and raised here. I've lived and worked here. Conservatives of every stripe, federal and provincial, have always had our back. They understand that when Fort McMurray works, Alberta works. When Alberta works, Canada works. I will never back down, not from the Alberta NDP, not from the Trudeau Liberals, and most especially not from the fringe eco-activists seeking to landlock our oil sands. I will continue to be a proud, unapologetic supporter and defender of our oil and gas sector and pipelines. You see, this is our home, and we are going to defend it. Thank you.